We are ready, guys. In three, two, one, intro. Wow! Here we are, Bergforce. Gentlemen, it is episode, I hope I get this right today, 411 of GI Joburg. And here we are. I've got my dude Steve over here. I've got my other dude Rob down there.
Hello,
Say hello, gentlemen.
welcome.
And of course, myself, it's Paul. And we've got another interesting topic today. We'll be discussing the migratory habits of the lesser spotted puffin. No, I'm kidding. Rob, tell everybody what the topic is this fine episode.
Well, I thought with the revelation that we're getting in TMNT X GI Joe, sometime this year, it was allegedly with the leaks. I thought like why don't we try and discuss like top five or round about top five? If you haven't come up with five, that's fine too. Top five most unlikely crossovers. Like, what do you think? Like, GI Joe is like, whoa, that would never happen, and maybe make it sound cool, I guess, or at least explore those ideas a little bit.
I
That
don't know
was
about y'all, but this has been particularly difficult to find the perfect center point between something that is unlikely to happen, but is still like something that you would want to happen. Like
uh,
G.I. Joe crossover with a tree. It's never going to happen, but would you even want that? No. So this has been
so
a challenge, and I'm sure you gents have had a similar
Oh,
challenge.
agreed.
Yeah.
trees.
I
That's interesting. So we kind of like breed certain types of trees. They're kind of like there's the snake eyes tree and the
oh
Cobra Commander tree.
like I mean I think I took the path more like the path like more commonly trodden upon,
Interesting.
where I tried to find two things that shouldn't go together, and then try to see what would happen if they did come together. I think that's kind of
Well,
where
one of
my
them's
mind
got to be
went.
G.I. Joe,
Obviously, yeah,
Yeah.
one of
and
them.
the other has to be oil. Oil and
Oh.
water. I don't know. But we're not just going to talk about unlikely crossovers, boys.
Mm.
There's been a movie trailer you wanted to get into, Paul? I suppose we
Yeah,
are
like
80s toy line adjacent, so the fact that there's a Motu film nearing final production,
Well,
or post
release.
production,
trailers at all. Yeah,
what do
so
you, what was your reaction, dude? Did it get you in the
I
field?
okay, so I thought these guys were very clever, and like I've had a few people here locally kind of bemoan that this has happened, but this idea of having a trailer, like a teaser for the teaser trailer,
Mm.
is uh, for the most part is kind of ridiculous, and it feels like such a safe thing to do. It's like asking your friend to ask out the girl that you're interested in, so that they deal with the rejection instead of you. It's kind of like what I feel like that is. But the teaser trailer popped out, the pre-teaser popped out, and I was like, okay, like I do kind of appreciate like the little bit of production value that I saw, because that was the first time I had seen anything from the He-Man films, from this new He-Man film, and I feel like they did sort of prime us for it by doing this whole like toys in the 80s, that whole vibe that they did. And then
Mm.
when the trailer dropped the following day, it was great because I didn't have to like sit there on YouTube or have it remind me or anything like that, because I got like at least 10 notifications to go with the link to the trailer telling me that it's at different times of the day, you know. So people were very excited, and so yeah, when I checked out the trailer, I watched it with Celia, and I was like, hmm, um, I'm cautiously optimistic. Like, I
Chicken
think there's
shit. Come on, pick
no,
a side.
I'm
Hate
cautiously
it,
op.
love it. Which one's it gonna be?
I don't love it, but I do like it a lot.
I love it.
Yeah,
Come
I
on,
same
say it,
actually,
man.
weirdly enough. I kind because kind of like I like that you have that angle of him being like, if he's is a fish out of water,
I
so it's
love
not just
that.
us as the audience discovering this
Yeah.
world, but it's him rediscovering this world and kind of like
With
coming
the
back to
pink
it.
shirt. Oh, it's
Yeah, I
beautiful.
love that he wears the pink shirt. I like
Love
Idris
that.
Elba, looks great as Man at Arms.
Agreed.
I think all the
Fantastic.
cast looks good, and if you pause, you'll even see Alison Brie as Evil Lynn.
Man, the trailer could have done with more Alison Brie as Evelyn, man.
But like
I-
literally blink and you miss her. Like it's very quick. Those few shots with her fighting Tila.
So
And
yeah,
Jared Leto is fortunately unrecognizable, obviously.
I had
Because he's
someone have to tell me
Skeletor.
after the fact that he's Skeletor, and I was like, oh, that's wonderful that I don't know it's him.
Unless they do a Keldor backstory where you actually see his face in
Which
blue.
is
but
possible because I mean, like versions of Caldo I've seen do look a bit like Jared
Leto.
Leto.
yeah.
You know, they're kind of like long, scraggly hair, and often with like a little goatee or some sort of beard thing going on, which is literally just what he looks like these days. I mean, like with many actors these days, they don't seem to want to transform themselves that much anymore into the roles that they're going to play. They just kind of like go into it. This is me. Take it or leave it. You know, it's kind of like Jason Statham always has that shaved head.
Yeah, but Jason Statham's not playing characters. He's playing Jason Statham in the movie.
Which
That
is
man is
true. I
hard.
mean, that's what he's always said himself. You know, he
Yeah.
fell into acting, and he just chooses roles that he
Well, he was in a
feels
Pet Shop Boys
are
music
fun.
video or something. Was it? A
Yeah,
Pet
he was
Shop
also
Boys? Yeah.
he was a model as well, I believe.
Yeah.
So you know, now he displays himself. So you know, good for him. But yeah, I
But
think
coming back to
it
He-Man.
looks good. It looks good. The effects look good. Overall, I thought. And yeah, I'm glad we get
Zor.
that.
Zor, brother. It opens
so-
with Zor, the bird. I mean, the colors are fantastic. That toy is like in my brother's room right now. It's much beloved by his kids, my kids, everyone.
Mm.
Everybody loves Zor.
So, and I love that you guys are gushing over this because it is awesome. I wasn't sure what to expect from you, gentlemen, regarding this. Guys, I'm not like in love with it. I'm not. How do I put it? I'm not in love with it, but that's not because I'm trying to be contrarian or anything, and it's not because like I have this high standard for what He-Man should look like. I'm really liking the trailer, and I'm really liking a lot of what I see, and I actually love some of what I have seen in terms of the character design. Rob, you mentioned Idris Elba as Man at Arms. I think he looks amazing. I think Tila looks incredible. The most watched part of the trailer, which is the evil Lynn blink and you miss it moment, is possibly one of my favorite things about this entire film. Admittedly, I think the reason I don't love it is because if I was walking past a TV in like in a mall or something that was showing off, you know, like trying to sell TVs and trying to sell like, oh, this TV is an amazing TV, blah blah blah, and you know sometimes, or at least in South Africa, they often used to guys would play DVDs or VHS or whatever the hell it was on those TVs for you to see it. And if I wasn't paying attention and I was just sort of walking through, I would think it was Guardians of the Galaxy. And that's the problem I have with that film. I feel like its identity is it's got a very Guardians of the Galaxy look to it, which is not a bad look. And it works incredibly well for Guardians of the Galaxy. But I just find that He-Man's got a little bit of the trailer, at least the way it presents itself and the way the visuals have been presented, really does remind me a lot of Guardians of the Galaxy. And I do feel like they've been cribbing off old dude's homework, whose name I can't remember right now.
James Gunn.
James Gunn's homework there,
Well,
and from the
if you
visual
saw the
stylist.
trailer for Supergirl, that also feels very Guardians of the Galaxy.
It does as well.
I think I don't know. It's just the way these like kinds of films
So
are
glad you mentioned
filmed
it, Rob.
these days.
Yes, it's this
You know?
bubblegum pop, like this. And but when I say this, I'm not saying it in a derogatory way. I'm just identifying it by saying it's this kind of bubblegum pop, cyber dystopian future grade, which I really do like. Don't misunderstand me. I just felt in this case it just lent a little too heavy into Guardians, especially because I just feel like if I was just walking, like I mentioned earlier, if I'd just seen on the corner of my eyes, it would have been like, oh, cool, they're showing off the Guardians of the Galaxy today in game or whatever. You know,
okay, so you want it to look more unique.
I wanted it to have its own identity, in that respect. But I feel like it does, and I feel like it's only a teaser trailer, and we can't really get everything that we need from that yet. And and I do appreciate that that it has made some critical, risky design choices. With some of the characters, and I keep wanting to. I keep thinking it's Mechanic, but it's probably not Mechanic. Is the mech dude? Like I'm trying to figure if that's meant to
Roboto.
be like Roboto or yeah, but like it is so visually
Rio Blast.
detached from the original figure.
Rio Blast.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't know the names of any of these characters.
Are you talking
like-
about
that's
Fisto?
yeah, but it's like
No, Fisto is blinking. But
No,
when
not
when that
Fisto.
ram comes down, you see it's Tila and
it's the
He-Man
whole
and
gang
the cat,
and
and then there's a
fucking
robot man.
Robot Man. So like
Roboto.
I'd like his design. I think he looks cool. Yeah, but it is Roboto, but it's also not Roboto because well, I mean it must be Roboto. It can't not be Roboto.
Dude
But
needs a
the thing
heart,
that I'm getting
man.
at is
Dude
like
needs a heart.
Tila.
Anyway, let's not speculate too much. We don't have any answers, but you're cautiously optimistic. I'm sold. It's probably
Yeah.
most anticipated release of 2026. Roll on summer.
Oh, it
I
is
mean,
mine as well. Let's not
Oh,
dick
winter.
around. Let's not dick around. I am very, very excited for its release. And I will be honest, and I don't care what people think of me when I say this. That whole film's dialogue could be like, goo goo gaga, no, you bad guy. That could be the dialogue of the film, and the story could be absolute pants. But I'm there for Evil Lynn, Alison Brie. This, guys, you got to understand. I love the Baroness for a very specific reason, and I love Evil Lynn for a very specific reason.
You're so whipped,
And
my
when
boy.
the two right things come together to make us Evil Lynn, the way that she's presented there, I am 100% there for that shit. Everything else can be complete pants, but I'm there for that shit. I will say this though, I am very sold on that dude as He-Man. I think
Okay.
he's freaking rocks as He-Man. I think he is fantastic. I think he's great as Prince Adam. Pardon me, that's cool. I think he's Prince Adam is what sells me on how awesome He-Man is because he is such a dork.
Yeah,
At
there's
that
an
point,
earnestness
and
there
that
that
whole
he
fish out of water.
even would have as He-Man.
Yes,
Like, he's just
yes,
filled with the milk
it's-
of human kindness.
Yeah, he sounds very very good hearted.
and
He's kind of
I'm
driven to be more.
driven to be more,
Well, what that was it? Driven to be more.
driven
To be more than what he is, I guess. Yeah.
Guys, I will say this before we get away from this. I am not
Oh.
super sorry, Rob. I'm not super sold on Skeletor. That's not the film's fault. That is because I really love Skeletor, man, and like I've really found this in the last few years. Skeletor has been a very powerful image for me my whole entire life, and I think I have a very strong need for Skeletor to look a specific way. And I don't blame the film here because I think what is in the film looks very good, and I think it's going to make for an awesome action figure. And I actually think a lot of these character designs are going to make for awesome action figures. And I think it's very clever that they did that. And if this film does well, which I feel it might do, based on this trailer alone, because obviously we haven't seen the film, I hope it
Go to GI
inspires
Joe
other companies.
crossover. It's not unlikely.
Yeah, no, but I do hope that by it being successful on screen and then by extension being successful as a sort of crossover property into not crossover cross sell into like its toys and all that stuff. If it does well, then it means that maybe like titles that haven't gotten movies based on them, like based on toys, maybe they will look at being a bit more brave instead of trying to make those movies into like a Michael Bay film or something. Maybe they will start going into the sort of whimsical nature that the trailer does, and then inject some seriousness into it, because that's what I kind of feel from the trailer. And yes, of course, I'm talking about a GI Joe film. It would be interesting to see if this helps, producers find the middle ground, and be a bit more relaxed about some of the more bizarre decisions. But only time will tell. That said, yes, it is also my most anticipated film of the year, and I'm very excited to see it as well. And yeah, and there's a lot of like weird stuff going on at the moment in the world. We're getting, like Rob said earlier, we're getting GI Joe and Ninja Turtle crossovers. We got
Mhm.
Motu and Ninja Turtle crossovers. We got Transformers and Motu crossovers.
Thundercats and Transformers. Or whatever.
Thundercats,
Motu and Transformers. Whatever. Guys,
whatever.
let's
It's
get
the
it back to
time.
G.I. Joe.
Yes.
I got one little hot bit of observation because it's not news anymore. This is from a Larry Hama ARA GI Joe book from a month ago already.
Hmm.
Issue 324, right? Or no, sorry, 323 features a big powwow. Cobra Commander, who's been driven underground by Destro, is rallying his old buddies, all the stalwarts, the Copperheads, the Bloods, the assembled dudes. Deep callbacks aplenty. But which character makes their debut in that issue in the ARA series? Well, I'm not going to make you guess. None other than Overkill.
Oh, you mean
That's
that
attack.
Just
the
pops into a Larry Hama book unannounced. A
the
character
actual
that he's never had
Overkill?
anything to do with, as far as I could tell, prior to that. Just kind of waltzes in unannounced. Now, what version do you suppose was used?
I'm
And just to let the listeners in, there's the sort of all robot version, which was his initial action figure incarnation in the Talking Battle Commanders. That's sort of a lime green and red and gold affair, very cybernetic. Everything looks metallic and pipes everywhere and Terminator sinewy metal fingers. And that's the look that I think you prefer, Paul. No,
Yes.
other way around. Rob prefers that look. Paul, you prefer the sort
Robot.
of reanimated Saw Viper, like cyborg with human anatomy.
No,
mixed in.
no. I prefer robot look, but
Okay.
with the person inside it, living inside it. Like,
You like that
yeah.
storyline.
Yeah, I like that
So,
concept.
my question to both of you gents is which look do you suppose was used in that scene in his introduction?
oh, interesting. It probably would be it would be the Soul Viper version because he's actually been written about before in the Devil's Due run.
Rob, it's a trick question, man. We got Ninja Force Overkill, like
Oh.
blue bat Ninja Force Overkill. That's probably what he looks like in this version.
Oh.
Steve, I want to hope it's the original Talking Battle Commandos version, but I've got a feeling it's not.
Yeah, wouldn't that be sweet? Like to see that in art in an ARA book. But no, you're absolutely right, gents. Overkill is rather unceremoniously shuffled into the book, basically just looking like a blue shirt. He's got the
Yay.
blue Cobra helmet. He's got a longer sort of mouth covering
It's like
scarf.
Scar.
Yeah, he does actually.
Reminds me
But
of
he's
Scar.
definitely name checked
Cool art though.
along with Scrap Iron and
Is that
Crystal
Crystal
Ball.
Ball? Oh wow, that's cool to see. Like,
Yeah, Crystal Ball's had a few appearances in ARA, both old and modern.
still a figure I want in my
IDW
life is
era.
classified Crystal Ball. I think he's so cool.
But yeah, that was issue 323.
Interesting.
Give it a read if you can get a
Yeah, I
hand
see.
to it.
Also, he'll soon be introducing 2 new characters to GI Joe because apparently
Kill over.
the over 300 however characters in GI Joe aren't enough. He has to introduce new ones. The sniper and
Well, the reason being, Larry's like, we need new specialties because warfare has changed. The one isn't a new specialty; it's a sniper called Downrange. The other is a drone specialist called RC.
yeah.
Neither of them are South African.
Still no Africans.
My
Still
character
no African
that
representation.
my character that I submitted as an O-ring figure for the for 3D Joe's for their toy line.
Bedrock Mania.
Operation Recall.
That one.
Sunday night, Paul.
Thank you, Operation Recall. I wanted somebody to name drop it because it's a cool kind of marketing thing. Not that they've asked for it, but one of them was a drone operator from my side.
Nice.
But
Drone
was also a
operator.
paraplegic. with robotic limbs, but never mind. That is cool. I'm glad that they got new
Well
characters in.
done
Like Rob
on
said,
putting them in.
we need more
But
characters in
but
GI
Well,
Joe.
no,
but
I'm
zoom
saying we
out, guys.
don't need
Zoom
new
out.
characters because
I'm
we have
using sarcasm,
hundreds of
though.
other characters.
The backstory to that version of Overkill, the one that has meaty parts, is that those meaty parts were harvested from Saw Viper.
Yes.
So is Larry Harmer tacitly incorporating a Devil's Due storyline into A-Raw? Has he realized what he's done by simply including the character Foots Toots?
Well, it's
Hmm.
because then that also like sets up then that whole Serpentor trying to take over the world storyline, which is where Overkill was introduced.
Pick and choose. But Larry has famously said like stories that weren't written by him, the characters that they introduce aren't his. He's not gonna, they don't exist in his universe. But we have seen Zanya, for instance, in art at least. She wasn't name checked, but she was in an Era book. And
But
that's
while
for
we
anyone not knowing, Zanya is the offspring of
daughter.
Zartan. And
Yeah.
someone.
Well, we're talking about the comics. I think it's in the latest previews for these not these for Image. They're actually going to be doing Cobra featured silent issues this year. So like we had Jinx and Spirit and etc. et al. We're now going to get Cobra silent issues. I can't remember all of them, but I know there's Baroness, Zartan, Firefly. I think Copperhead maybe, and I can't remember the fifth one. I think there are five because obviously once again it's Cobra.
Well, spoilers maybe, but one of those characters that you've just mentioned has recently made their debut in Skybound.
Oh
GI
wow,
Joe.
interesting. But yeah,
That's
so
cool.
5 new silent issues to look forward to this year.
Wicked.
Very cool.
I've got a
And
quick fire
pretty
topic for
cool.
you boys before we get into our main topic.
Quick
Oh
fire
my goodness,
topic.
I
Get
love
up and pay yourself for
these.
some thinking.
Oh, thank you. Not this week.
Right. So, in a previous podcast, I waxed on about like how certain Joes just belong in certain vehicles. Like that, there's a character of the vehicle itself that
Yeah.
speaks to that particular Joe or
Like,
Cobra.
oof.
So I'm going to play a game of vehicle assignments. Picked at random,
Oh my goodness.
a Joe or Cobra from every year of the
Mhm.
80s. We're not going to get bogged down in the 90s today because the 80s it's a more signature time and the vehicles are perhaps more colorful.
Okay.
Not colorful. What am I saying? Anyway, I just don't want to keep us here forever. So we're going to go 82 to 89. I'm going to pick a character out of my brain at random. And I want you guys to come up with their most appropriate or signature vehicle assignment.
They should be
Whether
assigned.
they are operating it as a driver or gunner or just a crew member, or if they're just a passenger around for a ride. Like, tell me what they're driving and where they're sitting.
Okay.
Okay. So,
My
starting in
goodness.
1982, the figure I choose, Breaker.
Breaker. Wow. He's one of those guys in the red shirts, isn't he?
Sure.
Just to confirm, the vehicle can be from any year, right?
I
Within the
guess
80s.
so.
It has to be
Yeah.
from 82.
I mean,
Okay, cool.
obviously, like vehicles that came out around their time would feel more signature. But if you want to get creative, you go right ahead, sir.
Radar Rat.
Hey, okay.
Wow.
He's kept it in the 80s
Yeah.
from one end to the other.
That's kind of crazy. I don't really remember Breaker very well, so I guess I'd just throw him into, I don't know. I don't
It's a
know.
launcher.
He can be in the sidecar of the Ram. Wait, the Ram doesn't have a sidecar. Which one has the sidecar? The Silver
You
Mirage.
can
Yeah.
ride the gun. The Silver Mirage has a sidecar.
Yeah, he can sit in that, I guess.
But you say you don't remember the character, but something did ping because he was on the Ram box art.
Okay. Well, maybe he can drive it then, I guess.
Maybe.
Can
He needs a
break
gun
that.
after all, because famously Breaker never came with one. Right.
That's
Totally
sad.
at random. My 1983 figure I choose for you is Blood. Major Blood.
Major Blood.
Yeah.
Ooh.
War. Well, I mean, the easiest thing to say would be to put him into the what is the evil vamp?
Ooh, the Night Attack Jeep. The Stinger.
Stinger.
drive.
There we go. That's pretty easy. And he's been in it in the comics as well, I think.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
And
so
in
I'm
our
gonna
Play
say that. I'm gonna
Motions.
say the Stinger. There we go. Popping him into the Stinger. And because it has, remote controlled stuff, guns. I mean, he doesn't have to worry too much. He can still drive with one eye.
Oh, is he driving? I always
course
figured
he's
he'd be in
driving.
the passenger seat.
No, he's driving.
Okay,
There's
cool.
There's a taxi driver here who has one eye. He drives very well, so he can still, people with one eye can still drive.
Right. Push the Stinger driver into the passenger seat. He can operate the missiles. I like it.
Yes, Stinger drivers useless.
Paulie, where are you sticking Major Blood?
I'm sticking Major Blood in a. Oh, like I can't get away from putting him on a Silver Mirage, which I know, like, as a GI Joe vehicle.
That
But
does.
like,
He would
but it
look
does
cool
work.
in one.
It does work for him.
Maybe it's like the Cobra Mirage. That's kind of like a cool black version of it.
Yeah, like I mean, I have to make up a vehicle here for it, but I think he would be so cool in like a Silver Mirage, and actually like riding in the PP seat. Not actually being the rider of the bike, but sitting in the
Okay.
sidecar.
So I was about to say, like, wow, damn, I'm putting him behind the seat of a car, and you're putting him behind the seat of like a.
Yeah, of the sidecar, because it just seems so right with his like stupid little helmet, and or when I say stupid little helmet, but he's like little helmet and everything there behind the sidecar, and he's like hee,
Well, it gives him more time to kind of be eloquent and make more poems, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose, but also I do feel like he's like really effective in that kind of positioning because he can be more accurate, maybe, as opposed to
Okay.
being on a
Zoom
bike.
out, man. Like,
Needs
I don't know
more
if you've
help
ever
with being
adequately
accurate.
justified why he's in the car of a GI Joe bike.
Well, I mean, because him and Baroness stole it or something.
Right.
There we go.
Yeah.
You had to fight Breaker for it. It seems
Yeah,
like
yes.
the sidecar on the Silver Mirage is very popular.
But
All right, moving on. 1984.
yeah.
Once again, totally at random. Baroness.
Wow, Baroness.
Have we lost the recording, Paul?
No,
Oh, wonderful.
just did a refresh. You'll see when you watch the. By the way, guys, if you've seen some weird glitching from my camera, enjoy. It's part of the cyberpunk feel of this episode.
Great fun.
But
So
sorry, you were saying the Baroness.
yeah. So other than on my lap, where else should she be?
Yo,
He's back, ladies and gentlemen.
there he is.
I put her in a snake, so I don't have to look at her face.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm kidding. Put her in a Fang, Cobra Fang. The original.
Nice. I like it.
Just
Yeah,
in
Fang is a
there.
nice classic for her, I suppose. That's a good place. I like her as the co-pilot for Raven, for Night Raven.
Oh, that's cool.
Her job is like intelligence, right? So
yeah,
she's, being in
And
that
shooting a
position.
machine gun.
Yeah, there you go.
Well,
She'd
not just
actually look
that,
great
but
with
also
almost
taking
any
the
vehicle.
photos and like
Yeah.
taking the photos, doing the surveillance stuff with the jet like that. I think it's very cool. Crap! I just realized she would have also been cool in a Rattler, but she's always so often portrayed in a Rattler, and I think that is a very
they put her in that
natural.
little gunner
vehicle
seat.
for her.
It's boring. Like, nah.
No, let's give her like a bigger jet. Let's increase her flying budget.
Give her something cool to do.
Yeah, upgrade it to business.
Okay, it's interesting that we both chose flying craft for her.
Well, she did always scream fixed wing pilots or helicopter pilot, in
Well,
fact.
I mean, yeah.
Well, she's trained as a helicopter pilot.
Yeah, Hasbro
Yeah,
even
pardon me.
stuck her into the classified. What's it called?
Haslab Rattler.
That one, yeah.
That one, yeah. All right. Once again, totally at random. We're moving into the year 1985 with Barbecue.
Barbecue.
Yeah. GI Joe's firefighter.
Maybe put him in the shark. So he could be underwater fighting fires.
Fish out of water.
Oh, guys, like I'm just joking now for yucks, but the septic tank.
Oh, he would look
Um,
great in the septic tank.
It would look great in a septic. But actually, you know what I think barbecue would look cool in? Actually, is a devilfish. I think it would look cool in
Hmm.
there. I think it's completely the wrong vehicle for him, but I think he would look cool in it. You know.
Yeah, they kind of like the color schemes
Mm,
would actually be really interesting.
like it's a bit matchy, to be fair, but
That's what you're going for, surely.
yeah. But I just feel like their colors, like imagine for a second this was a mask podcast.
Mm.
And barbecue was one of the characters in Mask. The speedboat, the devilfish, would be his vehicle. Like it kind of
Yes.
works. It makes sense, right? Like it
I
looks.
have never in my life made the correlation between Gator,
Yeah.
the Jeep that launches a speedboat,
Boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and the Devilfish, and you've just made it for me. Thanks, Paul.
There it is.
Fighting
Paul,
crime.
Those of you
ruined.
wondering what he looks like in a Devilfish, it's a very orange on orange affair. But
Does
yeah,
It's
I'm
cool. It
buying.
looks like
though.
it's the Mask crossover. It's the secret Mask Easter egg in the GI Joe toy line that was never designed that
That's a
way
good
ever, and I
pick. I don't
completely
know.
made
I
that
think
shit up
I'd
right
just
now.
put him in the passenger seat or something. Because if he's a firefighter, he has to obviously get to fires very quickly, and not be bogged down with driving. It's like, but I don't know what to put him in the passenger seat of that would look good. I suppose just the vamp. I mean, if I had to be boring.
A lot of people just stick him in the transportable tactical battle platform since he was introduced with it along with Shipwreck.
Oh,
Mm.
interesting.
And I mean, in that issue, he puts out a lot of fires when they are under attack.
Okay,
Good
So-
so
place for a
or
fireman.
something like a good a playset would be a good thing for him too. That makes sense. Okay.
He's also a great crewman for your flag. You got to have firemen on standby, crash crews, etc.
Okay.
He's a bit
well,
understaffed, though. Let's be honest. He
Him on
needs
his
a few
own.
more barbecues.
One man, one hose.
One axe. Right.
Fireman
Once
jump.
again, totally at random, heading into
Sorry.
86 with Beachhead.
Beachhead.
Hmm.
A cool vehicle theoretically for him to be in, I feel like, would be the Swamp Masher. But in terms of
I was
like,
thinking,
oh no, you were thinking
killer whale. I think he'd look great on the killer
it
whale.
does. Yeah, you see, brand wise, like if you put Beachhead in a killer whale, it looks right. It looks good.
Mm.
There's a synergy there between that look, because Beachhead would look a little too like he's dressing formal for like a house party if he
Yeah.
gets put into a Swamp Masher, you know,
Maybe an
because the
ore
Swamp Masher is a
striker.
lot of fun. Yeah,
Popping an ore striker.
yeah,
as well.
actually, Ostriker definitely could actually work. I think it works well. It's just I think it's because he's green. It's so much more like of a blue green,
Mm.
and I find it clashes with that sort of OD green that the Ostriker is. So
Okay, so something new, like the what was that one tank called? The Bronco Brawler, the,
Blockbuster.
the Battle Blaster. Blockbuster? No,
The Monster Blaster.
no, not that.
Trying to
I'm
peer into your mind, Robert.
Dude, you know what he would look really rad in actually is the Equalizer, but
Badger.
the Slaughter's Marauder Equalizer.
As opposed to the.
Because the Equalizer is basically the Stinger, but
Wait
with
a minute, was
different.
there a Battle Force 2000 Equalizer as well?
Was
They had a
there?
lot of those, like, cool name, shitty vehicle.
Yeah, but the Equalizer is not a shitty vehicle. It's a freaking cool.
It's not
No,
car.
the,
shitty at all.
the Slaughter's Marauders Equalizer, which is a
So
sort of
cool.
modified Mauler tank turned
Yep.
into an anti-aircraft gun.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I think he would
Oh.
look cool in that though.
You can pop him on the Brawler. That's the one I was talking about
The Brawler.
Nice.
from the 90s.
Well, it's a good color break
Cheating.
between his like very OD, or as you say, blue-green, Paul, and
Yeah.
then the silver future tank. Cool. Moving on to 1987, we're gonna go with Ball, Crystal Ball.
Crystal Ball.
What do you stick
Yay.
this guy into?
Ah, so many things. I'm saying to make people think that I have all these great
Cobra
options
Battle
for it.
Barge.
Shove that guy out to sea.
Dude, I think a
Just
pogo
something
is
ridiculous.
such a cool vehicle for like crystal ball.
Shake that bullshit out of him.
I like think about it. Like he's got such like super villain vibes. Actually, like crystal ball is so
Put him in the bouncing ball.
put him in this bouncing ball kind of like vehicle. It's like
Crystal
"Ooh,
ball
you
in
know,
the ball.
it's like see my vehicle. It's gonna be cool.
I
Yeah.
envision like using it as a cauldron afterwards. It's like
Yes.
making potions and shit.
He's like, get a,
Bubble, toil and
it's like
trouble.
get a fix, my dude. He's like,
Yeah.
Hmm.
A pall of smoke coming out of this thing and like green emanations.
and he's like, I used the best shrooms on this. Okay.
Care to venture a vehicle suggestion, Robbie?
I did. I said the swamp. What did I say?
Oh, the battle barge. Apologies.
Battle
Well, then let's
barge.
move on to 1988.
So mean, Rob.
Totally
so mean.
random. Budo-san. Budo.
Budo.
Where are you sticking this guy?
Budo.
He's a bit of a question mark. Like, where do you stick him in the infantry team either? Like, is he carrying a rifle?
I don't know. I'm just gonna pop him into one of the back seats of the Tomahawk. You can kind of just be ready to be launched into something else.
Rob, you say that, but actually, now that you put that mental image in my head, I think Budo looks really cool in a Tomahawk. Yeah, I think it's
But
like
it's also because like I don't think of him as being, I don't know, because he's so samurai-esque. I don't think of him as being like the driver of something. Like
he is a fan of motorbikes.
Okay, we'll put him on the Silver Mirage then.
Yeah, but that's already being used by like Breaker and Major Blood. So.
Major Blood. Breaker's driving. Major Blood.
Major Blood sitting there like, harumph.
Taking me back to prison.
No, geez, dude, nice one with the Tomahawk. I actually kind of like Budo coming out of a Warthog as one of the passengers that sits in the back. Yeah, I think that's a cool place for him.
Okay, so we both put him in the back of something.
Catalog had him in the Rolling Thunder. So. Yeah.
I just think wherever he goes that's not sort of open top, like any kind of enclosed vehicle, that horny helmet of his, that's a liability, man.
Yeah, but
keep that thing away from the comm set. Oh crap.
Probably fine when he sits in the back, he has to have the helmet like upside down in case they go over a bump and somebody like stabs inside.
Yeah, so he probably sits on the
thigh.
Yeah. So.
Right. Our final random selection for the 80s. Where are you sticking Backblast?
Backblast.
The anti-aircraft missile man.
Where are we putting Backblast, Rob?
Well, once again, I mean, I don't know. What is he? Doesn't scream anything to me. So I think, yeah, probably in the back of the Warthog or the Tomahawk would be a good place for him.
I like him being in the ungun section or the non-gun section of a Warthog. So behind the driver's seat, because there's one with the mounted machine gun. Then obviously there's a driver, which is like Slaughter, doing his George Washington kind of thing. But I like Backblast being the extra fire support, like anti-air fire support for the Warthog.
Yeah,
and he looks good in it.
He needs space to carry his equipment as well.
Yeah,
so
but he also looks
something
good.
Small. Yeah,
he's got I think Backblast is a great looking toy with these green and black and all that good stuff. And when you put him in something like a Warthog, it almost makes the Warthog seem more legit in a way, like more military. That's at least my feel. And then the Warthog does the same for him. It's kind of like it's a mutualistic thing.
The figure needs more use because just manning that rather awkward 3-tube missile launcher system, that's just a quick way to becoming completely unusable for me anyway. Like I never connected with that figure as the anti-aircraft guy because my launcher was busted very early on, so he had to be kind of vehicle assignment guy, filler of seat somewhere. I think the Thunderclap played host to him more than anything else.
Yes, That was another one I was thinking of as well. Like I
There are a
think
lot of
also
seats on a thunderclap, and you need someone who's familiar with heavy artillery.
and
And
also
also, like, there are kind of, I assume they're anti-aircraft missiles. It has got some anti-aircraft defense.
yeah, not
Should
for
be.
nothing. I think he's also great on something like a Rolling Thunder and the General, just as a secondary and the tertiary,
Mm.
secondary and tertiary kind of option.
Just one of those guys to fill up a spot. Well
Yeah,
done, guys. I do like your selections. Some of them
thank you, man.
very surprising.
Major
Yeah.
blood.
Fucking Major Blood.
Roses
Is
are
it
red, violets
because
are
like
blue.
we associate bikes with sidecars with like Indiana Jones, where he's trying to get away from the Wehrmacht.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a whole sequence, and like Blood has got overtones because of the jack boots, because of the Fritz style
Friton,
helmet. He's got
yeah.
overtones of like German soldier.
So it like works like there in the sidecars. It's fun.
There's something very old school about sidecars used in military settings. But anyway, let's move on to our main topic, boys. As I said before, the trick with finding an unlikely crossover is it can't be so obscure as to not be relevant. Like, you have to find something that will never happen in our lifetimes,
But
but is
might
not
happen.
like GI Joe crossed with Moss. Like,
Yeah, I mean, like I know what I said earlier, but actually, like now that we're at this part of the episode, and thank you everybody who made it this far. And I hope that you guys are also playing along and getting your lists down in the comment section or in the chats. That would actually be really cool for us to read afterwards when we post this. But for me, it's kind of like they should either never be together, or like Steve was saying, and probably won't ever happen. But I've always got this like small like, but what if, you know, you know, and how do I stitch that together? So like either completely impossible, or not either. It's completely impossible. But what if? What is the thing? What is the glue that can make these stick? I think is kind of where I was coming from with this. That said, who's going first? Come now, this is radio.
is this a case of like who's gonna blink first? Okay, well shit. I mean, I figured I'd talk
John Woo
enough
time.
at this point. But
Birds.
if no one else, if you guys are feeling shy,
Hold on, the bird has to land, then we can fight.
pistols at dawn.
Fight.
This is a John Woo thing.
Yes.
Okay, so instead of doing a top 5, I just decided which one is the most unlikely
Okay.
because of how close they are as brands. I mean,
Oh,
the
wow.
Eternal also ran to GI Joe. Has got to be the number one knockoff. The core.
Huh.
Joe's stalwart through the ages. They're still making them. I mean, unless you fail to notice, like, yeah, the core still occupy shelf space at random stores. It seems it doesn't seem like they pop up that
Yeah, they're not at
frequently
Pick
in
and
the
Pay
United States.
anymore. They're not at Pick and Pays anymore. I don't see any core at the Pick and Pay here anymore. Sad.
In Australia, we see them at Mr. Toy's Toy World, and they are stocked, man, floor to
Okay.
ceiling. The core just Australia's a dumping ground for the
Call
core.
to the floor, bro.
Yeah. And it's not for nothing that I make this nomination. Well, as of recording, it's the 25th of January, 2026, which means that this very weekend, a year ago, we premiered our core exclusive play motion. The core top secret mission.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
yeah.
cool. Yeah, with the little paper and everything.
Yeah, the
That
little
was
piece
good
of
fun.
paper, yeah.
It was exactly a year ago, boys. Hey. So if you're scratching your
Wow.
heads, not knowing exactly what we're talking about, check out the GI Joburg YouTube channel. The upload was on the 25th of January, 2025, and it's a play motion. It's a lot of fun. It features some pretty bombastic core figures doing some pretty outrageous things. And it occurs to me that, like, what form would I want this crossover to take? Well, too bad we didn't get it in the 80s, because I would have loved to see core figures, but just done with that GI Joe buck and that GI Joe sharpness of sculpt. and that GI Joe like attention to detail. You know, the core figures were all knockoffs. They were all kind of a little bit cheap looking um, compared to their GI Joe counterparts. GI Joe felt more premium. Um, but there's a part of me that wants those perhaps more beige characters that the core gave us realized as like actual
GI
Joe.
Joe figures. Yeah.
Yeah, to look good, to
Mm.
integrate better, to have better thumbs. But that's in the past. Now, I guess this crossover would take the form of core nods finding their way into the classified series. Imagine,
Nice.
if you
Like
will, Fox or Hammer, Large Sarge, Cyber Trooper, Lars Laser, or everybody's favorite, Steve Wyoming, who is like a topless, like wrestler dude with a silver faceplate. Look, as I say, the designs range from quite beige to extremely bombastic, but to see GI Joe and Hasbro do a nod to their perennial like also ran brand, I think that's just got cute appeal. I mean, Hasbro owns the rights to the GoBots, and
mm,
within the Transformers line, we've seen a few references, nods. I own one of them, courtesy of MCDJ ACDC. I've got the Crasher, which, granted, it's definitely more Mirage than Crasher, but the colors are there. It's a deep cut reference, and like I'm delighted that I got it because my knowledge of the GoBots is pretty thin. But I don't think we're going to see that ever for
Mm.
on the GI Joe side. Like Transformers has gobbled up a lot of their contemporaries um, from the 80s. But GI Joe, yeah, there've been numerous lawsuits between Leonard and Hasbro. Initially for the use of the name Gung Ho for the toy line, the core toy line.
Mm-hmm.
Hasbro argued, no, we've got a character called Gung Ho. You can't use that for your toys. And Hasbro
mm.
won that. Or, well, Leonard backed off and renamed. So, and that's just the first of many storied history of litigation between the two companies. But yeah, it's astounding to me that the core is still in production, and we've never seen and will never see a crossover. So that's me, boys.
So
Wow.
I love Japan, and I don't think there's that's much of a secret. And I do love how I've seen so many crossovers between their brands and stuff that you would never think of, and
Yeah.
uses of their
Gundam
brand.
and Limp Bizkit?
Yeah,
No.
there's that crap, yeah, Limp Bizkit. But yeah,
So
they
random.
did. I mean, but to be fair, there is synergy there because Limp Bizkit, the main dude, whatever, he was a big Gundam fan, and so they featured Gundam kits in the one music
Fred
video. And
Durst.
oh, I don't know,
No, Fred Durst is the other one,
Limp
the other
Cookies.
band.
Um, but anyway, I hope we're not like dissing your bro music, people. But anyway, um, like I know I kind of dissed it. Sorry. Um, but like you see Limp Bizkit and like Gundam crossover, and then you got like that Vocaloid chick whose name I can't remember right now.
Miku
And
Hatsune.
Hatsune Miku. Sorry guys, when I go to podcasts, I get podcast brain, so the rest of the world I just forget about. So Hatsune Miku, like there's crossovers there. So you know they're a country that know how to like really put two things together that shouldn't be together. So I present to you, and this is not too far fetched. They are owned by the same company now. I think they have always been. But GI Joe Care Bears.
Wow, that was
Yeah.
actually something I thought of, but
Yeah,
I didn't flesh it out though.
I think the fact that you also thought about it means that it also kind of makes sense. Like they're not two things that should go together because like who in the GI Joe fandom is going to buy GI Joe Care Bears? Well, we don't know because there's no precedent for it. But I'm sure there's a lot of GI Joe fans out there who like Care Bears. You know,
Yeah, for sure. I grew up with Care Bears. I mean, you
I
watched
never
the
did.
cartoons. I'm pretty sure I had one. I don't remember its name.
Okay,
Grumpy.
no,
Do they have names like that?
the closest I ever got to like the Care Bears was I made an old uh, girlfriend of mine, an ex-girlfriend of mine back in the day. I made her a Care Bear shirt that I'd done, and instead of saying Care Bears, they were just like fuck everything. So, and she appreciated that. That's the
Mm,
closest I've gotten to owning anything or like being really interested in Care Bears. But I think if you think about like GI Joe themed Care Bears, and with crazes like the Boo Boo and stuff like that going on right now, Hasbro could really like lean into that. They could actually create like Care Bear versions of lots of the properties like Transformers
mm.
and all that, and kind of bring it into that instead of like making plushy Transformers. Give us like Care Bears cosplaying as GI Joes, Care Bears
Yeah,
cosplaying as
kind of like how the TMNT one is going, or
yeah, and I think
appears
that
to be
could
going.
be I think that could be interesting and at the same time kind of horrendous for a lot of people. But hey, we live in a crazy world right now. Um, then Rob, I don't want to like completely hog the mic. Do you want to take the next one?
I'll do one, which is it's in a similar vein to the one that you came up with. So not Care Bears, but My Little Pony. So with My Little Pony, I thought you could do, because I mean, obviously they're horses essentially, ponies. So,
Uh-huh.
but then
I've heard.
you'd have
Yeah.
an O-ring squad. What is Steven showing us?
My Little
Oh my
Pony Sky
goodness!
Striker.
How did
So,
you?
well, this is just too delicious because this was an April Fool's, I think. Back in
Okay,
no, it was posted on March 18th, 2014.
how did you have that ready? Like you didn't know what I was about to say.
I could read the room because Care Bears and ponies, they're in the same
They're in
milieu.
the same
So I
vein.
think Bleeding Cool reported that IDW was potentially going to do a My Little Pony and
GI.
GI Joe crossover comic.
Wow,
Oh boy. Well,
that
look,
is.
one of the coolest things IDW did with the license before they lost it was the Saturday morning cartoon GI Joe miniseries.
Yes, which they have
Love
been doing
that.
with other properties now as
The
well.
tone of that was so fun and
Yeah,
so much like the cartoon. And in that world, there is the possibility because, in that
friendship is
world, we
magic.
see Shipwreck
Hmm.
telling a story like a fairy tale, which seems like it's almost plucked from Smurfs animation. In the
Shit.
cartoon, we had Fatal Fluffies. They're not
Yeah, that's
too
the thing. In the
dissimilar to
animated world, you can have that the realism of soldiers with the magic of ponies.
Don't
the
forget
magic of
that.
friendship.
So,
Yep.
well, I mean, so yeah, I came
Friendship
up
is
with
magic.
essentially it would be, I suppose, a cartoon episode
Yeah.
where Dr. Mindbender somehow discovers this realm of magic, Equestria, I believe is his world, where the My Little Ponies live.
Hmm.
So he discovers this world and he creates a portal to allow Cobra to visit the world, because they think, okay, we can manipulate the magic and take it and use it for ourselves. But when they arrive there, they become ponies. So then you have an entire line of My Little Ponies that are literally just Dr. Mindbender. And he's probably like a purple pony, and there's Cobra Commander. He's a blue pony, and then Snake Eyes has to go in. Maybe not Snake Eyes, so it'll be the cartoon, but if he went in, he'd be kind of this cool black pony with the visor on. So yeah, you'd have a whole bunch of themed My Little Ponies. But then on the GI Joe side, you could then have anthropomorphized ponies, but as soldiers, and they would be part of the MLP force, which would be essentially the horseback force. So an entire, squad of probably six, because I believe there are six main characters in My Little Pony, and each of them would have, obviously all female, so an all female squad of horseback riding, I don't know, soldiers.
So
And
have you flipped it? Are the original My Little Ponies now anthropomorphic, and the Joes are now all like ponies?
ponies. So you have two separate things. So there'd be the cartoon, and
No,
in the
man.
cartoon,
I
so
want the My Little Ponies,
as people.
anthropomorphized My Little Ponies to be riding Joe
Oh,
character
Joe
as
characters.
actual
Okay,
ponies.
you could do
This is
that.
some crazy trippy Inception
There's
shit,
got some
man.
goofy shit going on there.
You are
There's
cooking my
You,
there's
brain.
goofy a
you could do
dog.
that, but there would be
Super
an
dog.
MLP force. So then you have, yeah, an entire squad of soldiers which are riding horses. So, and I suppose the horses could be the GI Joes.
And do they paint them like in Tijuana, where they paint horses with stripes and call
I
it a
suppose
zonk?
you
No, they
could do
paint a
that.
donkey with stripes and call it a zonky.
You
Oh
could do
boy.
that. You kind of like that's their, their colors. Like that's how they go into battle. Or maybe they're not even battle based. They could be based on the base or something, helping out with the MPs to kind of like manage things. Or I didn't think that far. This is one of the ideas that I didn't flesh out that much.
So you're envisioning two cartoons,
So
like
there's the cartoon, but then you
Ponies
have
in
the
the Joe
toys.
world, Joe's
Yes,
in the Pony world.
Pony World, yeah.
Hmm.
So they're kind of like a crossover type thing going on there.
Also, there is an episode of the Sunbow cartoon where there's a device that's sort of I can't remember the specifics of it, but it kind of makes things real that don't exist.
MacGuffin device.
It's it is a MacGuffin device. I just don't know if it's the MacGuffin device. I can't remember now, but it's where Shipwreck's telling that tall tale.
Oh yeah,
and then they animate, and then they animate all these like cute versions of like the GI Joes, and and then those things actually come out. They're like real. So there was that. That's fun.
Yeah,
So,
that's where I was going. I suppose
That
it's
could
almost three
work.
different things. There's the cartoon where they invade the pony realms and they turn into ponies, and you can turn those into toys. And then there is a toy component in the GI Joe line, which is the ponies themselves are humans, but you equip them appropriately as O-ring figures.
It's a very strange part of the internet, that.
I'm sure it'd be very, very weird to get all that.
I'm just hung up on like anthropomorphized ponies and ponies, like trading places, just like the Junkions. Like the one guy's riding the other guy, and then they smash, and then like the rider becomes the bike, and the bike becomes the rider, and they swap places.
It's a wild.
But that makes so much sense for that, though. Like, I dig that. I actually like that because it's very like robotic thinking. Like, it's very functional.
Like 30-30.
Yes.
Devil's advocate, though.
Fight alongside you.
Devil's advocate, though, and perhaps because I'm sure there are many pony fans out there. I know that I've stumbled across a few of them. I think a GI Joe pony crossover would be very cool for for those fans in particular. And I don't know how many there are, because I suspect there's a lot more pony fans out there than a lot of guys probably don't admit that they're pony fans or bronies or whatever it's called. But I think that line could look pretty cool. I mean, you could get like GI Joe colored ponies could be quite cool, actually.
Well, not just colored pony, but obviously
I can see that working. I'd never.
You're not going to have like Twilight Sparkle cosplaying as Snake Eyes, but you would have a Snake Eyes pony.
And it would be like
appropriate.
And it would have like a Arashi Kage tattoo on its
white
ass.
and red.
Yeah.
Baroness would be a deep black, I guess.
Well, you could make the Baroness one just gloss black.
Gloss black, yeah.
Yeah.
Are these classic ponies, the sort of like, what are they, vinyl? Or are you inserting them into the classified series? Because we all know that the animals are incredible.
Yes,
like it's probably the best way you can get like scale animals that are super articulated. They've not done a horse yet.
They haven't done a horse yet, but I think seeing the Joe characters in the style of the My Little Pony cartoon, or as actual horses, would probably be better to get My Little Pony fans to buy these horses.
Yeah, because not a fuck are the GI Joe fans going to buy a pony.
Dude,
but that's why the MLP Force, where you would have the box set of 6, characters with their ponies. As O-ring box set. That's why I was like, that's a way of selling it to the GI Joe fans. 6 new characters.
Could always do with more.
Listen, the only way you would get me to buy a GI Joe My Little Pony is if like it's got some like the brand crossover thing could be fun. So it's like a Baroness or whatever pony, and if you squeeze it and its eyes light up, then I might actually go with that, because then I could have like a very fun and interesting niche My Little Pony GI Joe torch for when I drop stuff off the desk.
And you squeeze it every time
I just squeeze it, squeeze the pony, maybe like eyes glow, like. But my next crossover which will most likely never happen. And I do feel like saying this kind of redundant,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think any of you gentlemen are going to see this coming. But GI Joe and Kamen Rider, um,
Ah,
yes, and the reason I
that could
say
be
that is
interesting.
because they are very, like, in a lot of ways, Kamen Rider is very much like GI Joe in that you got all these different characters that have different powers and specialties and all that. All that they are fighting like an evil force. There's very complex character and storylines, and then they have their powers and their connections and all that stuff that, like, amplifies their suits and themselves. In some cases, they are cyborgs, cybernetic, and some characters actually die and then just keep coming back again and again and again, and then there's clones of them. So it
Oh
might be
wow,
kind
this
of
does sound
redundant.
like GI Joe.
Yeah, it'll be kind of maybe redundant to do Kamen Rider and GI Joe as a crossover because essentially it's the same thing but dressed up very differently. But I do feel like in a lot of ways they serve the same niches. But it would be quite interesting, I think, to see, like, if you gave like a handful of GI Joes, maybe 12 or 24 GI Joes, or the 24 characters from the GI Joe line or something like that, gave them to the designers of Kamen Rider and said, "Hey, make them work in the world of Kamen Rider. What would that look
Mm,
like?" And I think we might. I mean, the obvious easy. I think the easy ones to do would be like the Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow vibes. But I think we would see some really crazy stuff coming out of like Serpentor, Cobra Commander, even characters like Roadblock. Like the Kamen Rider guys conceptually are just off the chain, man. They come up
mm.
with insane stuff, and a lot of it's so nonsensical that it comes around on itself and makes total sense. And yeah, I just think a Roadblock Kamen Rider character is just such a hard thing for like a lot of us to sort of imagine. But if you take your time and look at Kamen Rider, you can be like, oh, I can actually kind of see that, like armor coming together, huge guns,
Hmm.
For the
like.
members of the audience who are scratching their heads about Kamen Rider, like give us the basics.
Okay, so I'll just take it to square one. Kamen Rider is basically there is a kind of alien force that is trying to take over Earth, and they disguise themselves as everyday people and in and amongst us in everyday life. And one of the things that they do, they kind of create this ultimate version of one of their like warriors, and he has a bit of a malfunction and ends up being kind of the good guy.
Mm.
Because yeah, because this is actually a scientist that's working on that. He's actually working for the bad guys, and then ends up making like this kind of, I want to say, super suit, or like this super version of like what a warrior could be. It's like all cybernetic and shit, and then he kind of merges with that. So he's like
Hmm.
kind of machine and robot at the same time, but using the technology from this race. And yeah, and then he fights them, and they're called Shocker. And yeah, and then he fights them, and then in the beginning he's alone, but then like other people start joining him because he finds out, oh, there's actually other guys who they themselves decided, oh, they're gonna like make them do this, or it's members of this alien force that have rebelled against the alien force and have
What's
made
the
themselves.
aesthetic of it, Paul? Like, sell me the toys,
Oh,
man.
okay. So the toy is really freaking cool. Okay, so it's a normal guy, like a normal kind of figurine, which is just very plain human face, but then it's got armor which clips onto him, and it makes him look like an armored cyber bug.
Hmm.
Mm.
Mm.
I have
And
seen that imagery.
yes, and so they have weapons. In fact, actually, guys, for those of you who are viewing, I can show you. This is the original Kamen Rider. I'll hold him up on the screen there. So bug helmet, got the cool armor there. There's the henshin device, the transformation device on his belt. If you guys Google, for those of you listening, give a quick Google to Kamen Rider, Kamen Rider. But a lot of Americans know Kamen Rider. Why? Because he featured in Power Rangers. They
Hmm.
did a lot of Kamen Rider Power Ranger crossovers and made him a character that exists in the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger world, splicing in footage from that show into the Power Ranger show.
Oh wow.
Yeah, which was making it seem like they're all together. And then Kamen Rider also was, and this is for the older listeners, There was a Kamen Rider a Mega CD game, which was released in the States. It actually got an American localization. I know that all of you owned Mega CDs, but or Sega CDs. Sorry, not Mega CDs in America. Sega CD, my bad. But Kamen Rider has popped up in American pop culture in different places in different ways. Like, and then obviously it's contemporaries. So like Beetleborgs and what is the other one? Um, and then just like never mind that. I mean, just Power Rangers and etc. Anyway, that's kind of where I'm getting. That's a crossover I think we would never get. We did kind of get close when they did Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers, which I think works actually. I didn't quite love the execution of everything they did for that, but I thought that worked. And I never thought we would get that. So that's why I don't think we should say never on this episode.
Yeah,
I think
these
Hasbro's listening AI listening bots has just gone, oh shit, My Little Pony and Care Bears.
they
We
mentioned
gotta
them
do it.
together.
We mentioned them.
Fans want this. Oh gosh,
yeah.
so we might actually be bringing these cursed
These
ideas
things to life.
into existence.
I mean, as it is a coincidence, if you believe in those things. We were discussing Overkill. Now all of a sudden he appears in Aerial.
Yeah, he's appearing
What's
in the
that
comics.
about?
That is
What's that
very
about?
interesting.
Like,
that is very weird, isn't
are,
it?
are
Well,
we?
because Larry listened to our episode on Overkill, clearly.
Clearly.
But that's how he had. He was like,
I didn't write this character.
well, or maybe he remembered the name and he was like, "Is that a name of a character in GI Joe?" And he typed it into Google, and the top
And came up with the Spawn bad guy.
GI Joe. I guess. I guess that might have happened.
Huh?
And
wait a minute. I wrote in, and it wasn't a letter that was published, but I wrote in asking about Overkill. Now I don't think Larry reads the correspondence anymore. But maybe somebody
did
in editorial did, and they passed it along. It was like,
yeah,
and
because he was like, "Can you guys
we've
give
never
me
put in
names
the
of
payroll.
characters?"
Larry,
Yeah,
why don't you just chuck him in?
yeah. Or
someone
maybe
else
he was
happy.
like, give me characters that haven't been in here for a while that Cobra Commander could be calling on." And so people named characters that they hadn't seen in the comics in ages, or ever.
Because I think I was making the point that I sometimes made on this podcast, and that's like, I would really love Overkill to have some connection to the Blue Ninja. Like, I would have a lot more respect for Revenge if it was an offshoot of like the Overkill program, sentient,
or have like Overkill Alpha like chained up somewhere, kind of in their system as like the core of their like system, and they like basically unwittingly like he's unwittingly giving birth to this revenge spawn.
Yeah,
in cyberways.
Man, that'd be crazy.
I like to take it to a gothic and darker edge. It's fun for me. I think it should be scary. And guys, another crossover that I just wanted to throw out, and this is partially thanks to Super 7, okay? But also, I'm not going to mention the name of this company just right now, mostly because I can't remember it, so I'm going to hopefully remember it by the time we get to that when I'm talking. But Super 7 did these wonderful little monsters, the the sort of classic monsters as O-ring figures. Yeah, the Universal monsters in the O-ring Reaction Plus line, which are finally on their way, by the way, because I had to ship my pile of loot. So here we go.
New toys.
Yeah,
Nice.
new toys at some point. I'm sure in like a week or two's time. I'm looking forward to it. But it got me like, I really love the idea of integrating these characters in the GI Joe world. And then I thought, hey, like, what about like if you took something like Hellboy and crossed it over with GI Joe? Because essentially the BPRD is kind of like GI Joe. They just fight supernatural forces, not Cobra. And there is like there's a bunch of stuff, and there's also like a bunch of like diplomacy and whatever that gets involved in that. And then actually it turns out somebody decided that would be a great idea. That's why I'm not mentioning this as one of my ideas, but there is a group that has done, I think they're called Mythic Legions or Mythic something. Anyway, you'll see them in Big Bad Toy Store. They're 6-inch figures. They're made in the classified GI Joe style. I think they're called Monster Force or something like that. And they've done exactly that. Yeah, and it's exactly that. It's like stuff that would kind of integrate well into like a classified GI Joe line or that 6-inch kind of line. And you got these supernatural kind of soldiers and whatever's fighting occult bad guys and ancient evils and all that kind of thing. And I got to say, a very, very cool toy line. If I, you know, um, I must say I'm quite intrigued. So that's like something I didn't
That would
think we would ever see
really happen.
crossover. It's like GI Joes and classic monsters and sort of gothic horror, like old
That could be
Arkham
quite
style
cool.
horror.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Um.
I've got two more. So
Oh
one is kind of
yes.
like a silly one,
Haven't they all
which
been silly?
I think the best. I guess they have been, haven't they?
Yeah.
So I thought GI Joe Olympics. So with the Olympics, I think coming up. So
That's great.
it would be kind of like figures that would come with the appropriate. They could be in the appropriate outfit for the appropriate sport. So they have it'll be a GI Joe, but in outfit for that. So he represents a certain sport.
Mm,
So like like Zartan could be archery, Storm Shadow. I was like, I don't know,
archery.
fencing or archery, yeah, or fencing or something, or or any of the karate, the martial arts. Rock and roll would be surfing because that is apparently a thing in the Olympics. Roadblock could be weightlifting, so you kind of get him in that cool outfit, and he comes with different equipment, appropriate
Body
accessories.
massage.
And hit
Okay.
and run obviously could be like long distance running or something.
But like fully canned,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but he has the outfit, the appropriate gear. So I don't know, you could do an entire line of figures that are just the Olympics. They represent certain Olympics sports essentially.
Oh, let's keep this going, man.
I dig this, Rob.
What
Who's
who
doing
else?
curling?
He's doing curling. So then I had
Oh,
I had the whole thing open earlier, but I can't remember all the name of the sports.
Oh, that looks
Tripwire.
obscene.
'Cause he's got
Oh,
a minesweeper.
Oh
tripwire.
yeah, tripwire. Sorry,
Um,
any hand movement I made right now is gonna look bad. So.
what about rhythmic
Oh,
gymnastics?
gymnastics. I mean, like
Thanks.
I could have moved towards like a martial artist like Jinx or something like it. That could do
Oh, Jinx would be a
gymnastics.
great one.
Mm.
I suppose like diving would be like Deep Six or something like
Deep
that.
Right.
Oh wow!
Hydro
Finally,
Viper.
Tracker can shine
Oh,
because they had the canoe thing as well.
oh yes, they do have
Yeah, canoeing.
canoes. Rowing. Yeah, he could actually
Rowing.
do like rowing.
There's Tracker like, I mean something. Hi, mom.
Well, yeah. So he gets featured in as part of the rowing thing. And then obviously, obviously, Winter Olympics kind of just writes itself. I mean, that's like all of the winter guys essentially, do all those different.
Well, there
Most
are a few
weapons.
Olympians in GI Joe. Snow Job and Wind Chill come to mind.
Interestingly, both Arctic troopers.
That
Snow
is
Job
quite
is
interesting.
what is it called? The cross country.
Biathlon.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
the biathlon. One of them's cross
interesting.
country then though, with the shooting.
So biathlon is a combination sport.
Mm.
It's skiing and rifle shooting.
Yes, that's
Oh,
it.
okay. Well,
Mm.
there we go. Yeah, that actually. Yeah, so I thought.
Not to be
that was
confused
quite
with
silly.
triathlon, which is swim, cycle, and run. And probably not in that order. I mean, we are not the three most
Yeah, I know
we
nothing
say
about
learned opinions on
sports
all
I
things
think
people.
Olympic.
yeah. No.
So
I mean, I used to
and
care when
obviously
it was
like
easy to watch.
gridiron you could do for like football or something. And is there football? Or maybe he's good at throwing things, so he could be part of shot put or something.
Yeah, discus.
Or someone good with grenades.
God, there's handball.
Yes,
Hey,
handball.
don't joke.
that.
Hey, my cousin plays handball, and he's like
Is he good at
professional
it?
grade there in Belgium for handball.
Okay. See,
Like, it says on that
at the
level.
Olympics though.
Actually, I think
No, that you say that.
I think they are actually gunning towards that. I think he is still young enough to compete in the Olympics.
Okay, interesting.
Guys, do you
busy.
remember the last Olympics? That shooter who had
Oh,
such
dude, that
swag,
guy.
just
Yeah,
potting like he's I don't know,
it's going
firing
crazy.
a few rounds on the.
But I remembered
on the range.
him. But the one I remember more so is the
Ray gun.
that breakdancing chick from Australia.
Oh god, the kangaroo. God, I'm so
Australia's
sorry.
sensation, Ray gun.
Australia, the person.
Do you
No,
think
that's not fair.
breakdance will make an entry into any future World Cup? Not World Cups, Olympics.
Olympics after her
After that,
performance.
that's
No,
great.
they're going to be like, nah. this proves that uh, there was no rigorous vetting
Screening.
of the people screening, towards getting the best of the best to this event.
Well,
I
there
mean, I
was.
think
She was in
that's
charge of it from Australia's side.
well, there we
Look,
go.
the big shock for me, and this shows how little I know about the Olympic Games, is that you're supposed to be an amateur. I mean, like representing your country in the Olympic Games, it's not taken from pools of professional sportsmen, though they all are sportsmen by profession. So I don't know.
Mm.
There is a level of like anyone can aspire to enter into the Olympic
Well,
Games.
she certainly proved that point.
Hmm. Boy, oh boy, did she ever.
Yeah, let's
So
not go down that
there was
road.
the Olympics, and then my final one is I don't know how you would realize it. I suppose once again it would be a set of toys or something, but it would be GI Joe Star Trek. So you would have, I mean, the whole idea is that there would be the USS Flag, which would be its own starship, manned by the Special Forces Unit GI Joe, and they would be fighting against a terrorist cell led by Cobra Commander. But the entire thing is that you're going across the galaxy, kind of keeping the peace. I mean, they can do investigation and shit like like Star Trek normally does, but their main focus is trying to get these guys under control. And then obviously it would be like a normal starship, but I just imagine it kind of having like more hangar access, so they could launch like runabouts and shuttles and stuff. And the main type of shuttle that they would have is called the Ore Striker. So that's a class of shuttle that they would use as kind of like their main transport thing that they would go around with. And then you'd have the main crew. You could then obviously Claimants could make Star Trek figures of these guys in the uniforms, and you can also then make a series of O-ring figures in Star Trek uniforms. The appropriate characters. So the captain of the ship would be Captain Abernathy. His first officer would be Commander Hauser. The pilot, so the guy piloting the ship, I decided to go with Lieutenant Commander Morgan, aka Payload. The tactical, so the person in charge of obviously all the lasers and all the shooting and stuff, would be Commander O'Hara.
Oh,
Scarlet.
give Scarlet the gun.
Yeah, I thought so. Because I mean, like, I feel like she is tactically minded. Like, she is obviously very good with all the weapons that she uses, and I feel like she would be very good at kind of like being in charge of security and being the tactical officer of the USS Flag.
Yeah, and as I recall, I mean, the tactical officer typically runs a bit hot, whereas
Yes.
captain needs to be level-headed, and commander needs to be level-headed as a sort of second in command. The tactical officer can kind of be the voice of like, we need to take decisive action now. We
You
need
got to
to
do it
fire
right now.
phases.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah. So
Scarlet.
she'd be
Right.
kind of like the wharf of the of the bridge, I guess.
A very lovely
But she also
wharf.
gets beaten up by everything.
Science would be Lieutenant Commander Barney, which if you don't know,
Yes.
Grand Slam.
Yeah.
Wow.
Also, why I chose him as well, because on his file card, he's actually a fan of science fiction. He's a big fan of reading science fiction, and I think obviously he knows science. He knows electrical engineering and stuff, I believe.
Wow.
Engineering officer, I struggled a bit with because there aren't any pure actual engineers in GI Joe.
Tollbooth might have a
for
word
the
with
most
you.
part. Tollbooth was the closest, I thought. He is a combat engineer. There was another person who's a combat engineer, Zap. His primary is also engineering. But then also wanted someone who felt more like they were able to fix stuff more than just being an engineer. And there's only one person in the whole of GI Joe who's secondary, I believe, is mechanics or something to that degree. So yes, it would be Commander Krieger would be your chief engineer of the USS Flag. And
Dude,
then
lovely stuff.
And then then obviously then I was trying to think of the races of the Cobra people. The Cobra commander, I eventually settled on being a Ferengi because he's
Already,
obsessed
not a
with
Cardassian. Okay.
Cardassian was
Interesting.
another one I thought of because I mean, but mine I suppose is more like he's way more obsessed with money. Like he wants money, and it kind of goes against I suppose what Star Trek is about really. All these
Destro's more Cardassian, isn't he?
Yes, yeah, the Destroyer settled on
Romulan.
Cardassian. Well, Baroness, I decided would be Romulan. I thought
Oh,
that would be
excellent.
interesting.
The Dreadnoks are the
And
Klingons.
yes, exactly. That's where my brain was going. They were Klingons.
Great.
You could even then also still make Blood a Klingon as well, because Klingons with eye patches look cool.
Yeah, and also the Klingons are like samurai, so there's that whole vibe
Yeah,
there as
well,
well.
either they're kind of very like a boisterous or like samurai-esque,
Yeah.
which yeah. So and they kind of I didn't go so much into the thinking of what they have, but they probably would have their own ship of some sort. But yeah, I thought Star Trek, and then you could have little models inspired by different characters as well. So you can have a USS Snake Eyes and USS Storm Shadow, and I don't know, stuff like that. So you can have a whole range of little ships named and also, I suppose, painted appropriately to different characters. But the main ship would be the USS Flag with the
I
crew.
hanker for this show so much, dude.
Isn't that
Like,
cool?
what a perfect symphony of two of the things I love the most.
Yeah, but
Go
like
and
so
check.
unlikely. Like it would never. I really can't imagine this ever.
What
Happen.
was Sulu's rank again?
Silly.
Lieutenant.
He was a lieutenant. Yeah, until
Because
after.
They
In,
make him a
yeah,
captain of the Excelsior
yes, and
by
by
Undiscovered Country.
yes.
yeah, because I gotta say, like, it is one of the cool things in the Kelvin timeline is Sulu, is that version
Well,
of
hang
Sulu,
on. Wasn't he an ensign? Hmm.
Ensign Sulu.
He might have been an
I mean, he
ensign.
must have
He was
started
quite
out
young. He was
as
quite
a
young.
helmsman, as an ensign.
I
But
just
Yeah.
love that like katana he's got, that like self-forming katana.
Oh,
Katana
in
in
the
Kelvin,
Calvin movie.
in the
Yeah,
Kelvin
it's
timeline.
cool.
don't need
Okay,
to think about
Hey,
that.
there are
pretty
things in the
cool.
Kelvin timeline that I think are
And
very
then obviously
cool.
you just
That is
keep
one of them.
expanding outwards. Like the crew of the ship can be, all of the Joes essentially. Eventually, you will need doctors and
Doc would be a great Bones.
he would be. He would be kind of a fun one. And then obviously people like Psych Out would be the therapist of the ship, I guess, if they need one.
Oh, would you make a Psych out of Betazoid?
I suppose yeah, he could be
Actually, because
because he can manipulate people much easier by actually sensing their emotions and their thoughts.
well, that's what Psych out is. I mean, he's essentially carrying technology. He's the technology equivalent of a Betazoid, basically.
Yeah,
And he's
From
got
the
a great
offensive
head of
side.
hair.
exactly. So yeah, those are all the crossovers I came up with. I don't know
Dude.
if you have any more, Paul.
No, I think let's put a fork in that before we give
put an X in
the
that.
respective toy companies way too many ideas that none of us are going to
And
get
if it
royalties
wasn't
for.
for Warner Brothers sale to Netflix and Paramount shitting the bed, I would have loved to crawl into an episode of Star Trek right now.
Yeah, that would have been.
But
awesome.
alas, now I have to pay for another service. Bloody hell.
Which we
Well,
don't
that
even
you
have
can't even
available
get
to us in
here.
South Africa.
Oh, you can't get
Yeah.
Paramount Plus yet.
No.
No,
Showmax.
maybe in Australia. When you're in Australia, you might.
Oh
be
yeah,
able
no,
to.
we had it for a time. I watched Strange New Worlds,
Okay.
but
I
then
want to watch
we left
Strange
it
New Worlds.
because we're not made of
Stupid
money.
season 3 on Showmax. We haven't got season 1 or 2. I've been wanting to watch that show for a while.
Silly buggers.
Yeah, it's just dumb. Like they do that as well. Like they'll have like season 2 and 3, but no season 1 or season 4, and then like the first 3 episodes, and then all of a sudden it's season 4. It's like it's ridiculous. I hate that shit. Like
Showmax is no good.
So keep it locked on GI Joburg, where we're here, showing up every week for free
yeah, no
Absolutely.
crazy.
for
Yeah,
us.
It's
no
for us,
crazy
for you
episode numbering.
guys. And Paul, you mentioned it's some people's birthdays this week, I believe.
Yes. So I want not to dox them. I don't want to expose their birth date. But Bart
But within
and
this month.
Jim have recently had a birthday.
Happy
So
birthday
happy
to
birthday,
Bart,
Jimmy and
especially.
Bart.
Thank you.
You guys
well,
are-
I hope yeah. I hope my video made your birthday.
You guys have been
'Cause
GI Joburg stalwarts for a long
your
time.
toy made my
And-
day.
And actually people we call friends as well. So
Yeah, absolutely.
so-
Happy birthday, Jim. I hope you had a great day, and may 2026 be the best for you guys.
yes. And Bart, yeah, good luck. I know what Bart's busy with. I don't want to be too mysterious about it. But good luck,
Ooh.
because Bart's got some cool ideas and plans and stuff. So
Always.
all the best. So
So does Jim.
yeah.
Happy birthday, boys.
Very creative people.
And on the way out, anybody got any new stuff this week? New toys, whatever? I'm just prompting you, not because I got new toys or anything. I just want
Ooh.
to check in case we miss out.
No, nothing new. I mean, if people watched it, we did do a video 2 weeks ago on the fantastic custom van that Bart sent me,
Scoopmobile.
the Scoopmobile. That's the most recent thing I've received.
the Scoopy
Yeah.
Scoop, the Scoopy wagon.
The scoop wagon. The scoop
Like not
wagon.
GI Joe related, but a friend of mine got me these cool beads, these like onyx beads
Oh, very
from,
cool.
and they're red, and because it's Chinese New Year soon, so
Oh yeah,
I
Happy
wanted to
New
make
Year's
sure
to
I had.
all the Chinese people, all our
That's in
Chinese
February,
listeners and
February, not just
viewers.
Chinese, Asian people.
Yeah, happy to the Asians too. Not just Chinese people, but the Asian people too. They're
As a
Chinese
whole.
too.
So yeah, so that's happening soon.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just thought it was really cool. I was like not expecting that. And
That
I
is
dig those
very
beats.
sweet of him to do that for you.
Rad, guys.
Do you know
As
who else
always,
is sweet? The people that
our
support
Patreons.
us. We
Yes.
love you guys. You're amazing. The people on the YouTube channel, you guys are pretty cool too. Thank you for always being there with us, or keeping the lights on, for keeping our
What's
coffee
that,
warm.
Steve?
Steven's keeping himself
It's
cool
the
with
trap
the
activator
trap
for
activator.
Ghostbusters. Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah,
thank
that's
you for
good.
everyone for activating us and keeping us activated in general. Yeah, every like, comment, and even just a normal subscription. Just you watching this right now keeps us, or listening
Yeah,
to
thanks for
us
the likes
on your podcasting
on your
system,
device, whatever it
wherever
is.
you are, whatever you're doing. Thank you for hearing these words coming out of my mouth right now.
I was speaking to the people now in the future who are watching us on some kind of newfangled holographic device that is probably being
Ooh,
pumped into your brain and
that's
changing your
fancy.
reality. And it's obviously made the three of us look far better looking than we actually are.
Wow,
And
I look so good now.
appreciate that. I don't know how much of the core part of this podcast managed to survive 40 years from now, but hey, whatever. But cool,
Hopefully this
guys.
bit
Okay.
didn't.
Yes, and then just a reminder to keep thinking of crazy stuff, guys. Like
Yeah.
the toy world is wild, and
Filled with ideas. It's a
so
landscape just that you can enter
yeah.
and
So let us know.
enjoy.
Let
What
us
are
know
we
what
even
you
talking
would.
about right now?
I'm trying to get to a point, and Rob is doing a fairly decent job of derailing me. And now has enlisted you. But yeah, guys, in the comments, please, if you have any cool ideas or mergings or meldings of things that you think should or shouldn't be together or mixed with GI Joe, please let us know. I'm dying to read these comments, so fill them up. That'd be great. Until the next
Breakfast
one.
cereals.
Until the next one, try and behave, everybody, and play with your
I'll
toys.
try.
You'll try. Cool, guys. Say goodbye.
Goodbye, guys.
Goodbye.
See you next week.
Berg.
Berg.